It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hey folks, I got good news for you. We got a lot of jobs available in the greater Hazleton area. That's what I said, folks. We have a lot of jobs available for you. When? Well, it's going to be the Great Northeast Job Fair. It's going to be May 23rd at Capriotti's Palazzo, and it's sponsored by the Standard Speaker and Republican Herald, co-sponsored by AutoZone and the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance. Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Lesante. Thanks for joining us. I got a lot of good things to tell you, folks. I know there's many of you who are looking for job opportunities. This is the place to be. It's going to be May 23rd, Wednesday, excuse me, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Capriotti's, like I said. Joining me today, my media partner alliance people, John Patton, who is the operations manager, and my good friend Paul Ross, who's advertising director. Folks, I'm excited about this.
Oh, that's great.
We've been talking about jobs in the area. You know, we mention it, and people are saying, where can I get a job? Where can I get a job? I mean, you have over 50 people and growing vendors who are going to be there, companies are going to be there to offer their opportunities. But before we talk about the job fair, which I think is exciting, congratulations, John, to you and the Lynette and Haggerty families on 5 years taking over the Standard Speaker, I guess, in Standard Citizen Voice, or they already had the Citizen Voice.
Yeah, they already had the Citizen's Voice.
Excuse me, the Standard Speaker. And in the last 5 years, we've been honored to be associated with the Lynette and Haggerty family, and you two guys have been great in the Standard Speaker and all the people there. It's just it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and we did celebrate it. It was May 1st, so we celebrated it. We had a little get-together. You guys were there. You were nice enough to cover it for us. And it doesn't seem like 5 years, but certainly in that 5 years, we've accomplished a lot. Some new partnerships were formed, and it's really extended our reach.
One thing that is exciting is in this area, we're unique because, you know, very seldom do you see a television station and a newspaper having the kind of media alliance we have, only because of reasons like who's better than who's that, and we put all that aside. And I think that to me was a great accomplishment on both parts, on Scott, Lynette, and the Lynette family and Haggerty family, who are entrepreneurs who are open to seeing what's best for the community, what's best for the people in the area. It's not a selfish thing, like if, you know, Paul, when we're looking at advertising, yes, we all want people to advertise, but paper is paper, TV is TV, you know.
Well, I think that's the key, Sam, is when you say that our partnership is born out of what we feel like is the best for the area, right? The way to connect locally right here in the greater Hazleton area, if it's downtown Hazleton, into McAdoo, Schuylkill County, into Weatherly. Whatever it is the best way for us to connect to the people is what we're looking for. And it just makes perfect sense to get us localized with yourself here at SSP TV. And we've enjoyed a few years of continued growth together.
And look what we've accomplished. I mean, in terms of doing things for community. You know, we had the clothing drive. Okay, the coat drive. How did that go?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it was more than we could have expected. I mean, we were able to get coats to various charities, not just one. Catholic Social Service, United Charities. We had some over in Freeland. So we were able to get to match up a lot of the people who were willing to donate with people who really needed them.
Then we went back to care and share. Okay, well, we said let's do something for the community. We would care and share. We got together with Catholic Social Services, United Charities, and United Way, and the Red Cross and Salvation Army, and that, you know, according to Neil Alberto, when we did this, both campaign, us promoting it, the paper promoting it, was one of the hugest successes that they ever had. And in the quote, I think he said, as a result of what we did, and it wasn't only me or you, it's what we did. They were able to supply thousands of family with food and clothing for the holidays.
Yeah, and I think from our standpoint is we just acted maybe as the middleman. We were able to just pick the stuff up. I mean, we got it out to the people. We ended up picking it up, dropping it off. But they did all the hard work. I mean, they did all the work of separating it and getting it out to the people who really needed it. So from our standpoint, we were happy to be able to be a part of it.
I was at Stewart's on Sunday and stopped for a hot dog and hamburger with my grandson Mason, and one of the people there came over and came out and just said, he says, Sam, what you guys have done, SSP TV and the Standard Speaker, and as we are providing information, it was he said it was exemplary what we were doing for the community. Now. We all like to be told, but however, this is unsolicited. This is a person that came in from behind the counter to come and tell us, how we're doing, what we're doing for the community. So sometimes you don't think that these people are we affecting them. But
I think that, and that's true, Sam. But the other thing is that everything that we've kind of brokered together and just really gave some stewardship to was a way for the citizens of Hazleton and the surrounding communities here in Lower Luzerne County and into Schuylkill and our surrounding counties, was a way for them to connect directly with the people in our communities who needed it most. We weren't collecting coats as a regional drive. We're not collecting food and canned goods to be dispersed throughout all of northeastern PA. Everything that we've done together was just a way to broker or connect the citizens of our area with the needy to our area. And I think it's a great testament to the people that live down here and that we're interested as companies in trying to help out in the place where we do business. A little give back.
It's interesting, Paul, because when we have lunch or whatever, and we kid each other a lot, but you said something to me. You says, I just love the people here. I just love coming down to Hazleton because you live in Scranton, outside of Scranton, right? And you're here for about 12, 14 hours a day. I mean, so it's not that you're, but it's interesting from an outsider coming in, and I'm not saying you're an outsider, but a person who lives, coming in, looking at the town and seeing, what we're all about,
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous area with a very good group of people and an unbelievable work ethic. Which is not dissimilar to anybody I've really run across in Scranton or Wilkes-Barre or wherever it might be. But it's very localized, and I think that's the key. We're not looking to be the New York Times. We want to be the Hazleton Standard Speaker and cover the surrounding area to the best of our ability. And that's what brought us together, from in a media partnership to say we're looking for local at SSPTV. We have that and we broker it together and put out in the street the most amount of news gathering people of anywhere else in the area. So it's a tremendous opportunity for us from a news standpoint, from a community standpoint, and from a public service standpoint.
Well, John, you've been through a lot. I mean, you've seen it from the other side into coming in, being a native of this area with your family, whom are well respected in the area. When you sit back and as an operations manager and you look at the newspapers and you hear. You always hear, newspapers are obsolete, local television, whatever, we happen to be in a different media than you, etc. What goes through your mind?
Well, yeah, you're right. And being a native, I was gone for a while, and then came back and thrilled to be back. I mean, I love the area. But we see this all the time. I mean, we run into these problems all the time where, a lot of people will say, well, the newspapers are obsolete. Again, we don't believe that. Obviously, we don't believe that. And I believe that our advertisers and our readers don't believe that as well. We're in an area here where, the news that is local is what people want. You are not going to get the information that we provide on the internet in general. So the high school basketball games, the plays, those type of things. Those are the things that are our bread and butter. That's what people want to see from us, and that's what we're giving them. And when we team up with you, again, it gives us the ability to do that on a daily basis, but on an hourly basis. Something happens that the paper's not going to come out till the next day. I mean, it's information that we get from you. It's on our website. So we are a 24/7 operation in print and on the web. But what we provide to the people of Hazleton and the surrounding communities is the local stuff that they're not going to get anywhere else.
And when you're looking at local, okay, you measure your advertising by the amount of papers that are purchased and published, okay? We have to measure through either notarized surveys or the Nielsen rating book, or the Nielsen, which is a different thing. But anyway, and what I'm saying now, anyone can Google this. This is nothing. Okay, what you're finding today, and you both of you are right on target. What you're finding today, broadcast television, I'm only speaking for TV, there are a lot of newspapers, big newspapers like the Times, Los Angeles Times, are losing circulations where guys like you with the Standard Speaker and Citizen Voice growing, okay, and here's the reason, at least what we found out. Broadcast television like NBC, CBS, and ABC, their numbers are decreasing. Local cable networks like Lifetime, Food Channel, CNN, etc., they're in, other than specific champion show, ESPN shows, but across, their numbers are decreasing in viewership. The only areas that are growing in leaps and bounds on television are local shows like we're doing. And this is because people want to know what's happening in their backyard. Not that we're not concerned about what happens in Strasburg or Williamsport or Philadelphia, etc. Yes, but most importantly, when we pick up the paper, we want to know what's happening in our area, okay? Right. The same thing with our local news, So, and we're always asking the community, as we always do, is how can we do better, okay? We try to do all these different things to work with the community. And some of the things, like I mentioned, was the Media Day, the Care and Share, and of course we'll announce the Media Day coming up in July. But now, folks, we're going to talk about jobs. How many of you know people, or maybe you yourself, are looking for work, okay? We have the jobs available, and we're going to talk about that right after this break. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. We got a lot of jobs for you. We're going to be talking about the Great Northeast Job Fair in a little bit. We want to first of all thank our official water of SSP TV and Samson Productions, Tomican Spring Water. Folks, the water that Starbucks uses, if they do not have this water, especially in our new viewing area in the Tamaulipas City, hometown areas, ask for Tomican Mountain Spring Water, folks. You'll really enjoy it. Now, also, for those of you who are wondering why I take MonaV every day, 2 shots every day, it makes you feel fantastic. There's a lot of great stuff in here. Dan Pisala, give him a call, ask him about it. You'll know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get Paul Ross and John Patton to start taking this stuff because they're half sleeping after that. Seriously, I'm only kidding. But, okay, Paul and John, the Great Northeast Job Fair coming to the greater Hazleton area. Let's talk about that, John.
Yeah, basically our company has had the Great Northeast Job Fair, and we talked about bringing it down here. And so we have it now coming down on May 23rd. We know there are jobs available. We know there are a lot of people here who have jobs. And again, we're trying to broker, like we've done in the past, we're trying to put together our advertisers that have jobs available with people who need jobs. And so there will be all types of jobs available. There'll be full-time, part-time, there'll be seasonal jobs, people who are looking to, maybe pick up some extra income, maybe people who are retired, they're looking to do something. So there'll be a lot of our vendors, over 50 of them there, and we'll be looking to match people who want jobs with people who have them available.
In addition to this is a fun day. It's going to be a fun day. So, Paul, you talk about the fun part about this, other than me being there and them being able to get pictures and autographs with me, other than that.
That's always fun, Sam. Sam will be available for photos if anyone's interested. But
and I'm not paying as too much money like I did last
time.
No,
that's it. Every hour on the hour, we're going to give away $100 for someone that's in attendance. So register to win. And from 10 to 6, so at 11 o'clock will be the first drawing, and then right through to the end of the job fair, we will give away $100 cash money right there on the spot. So never mind, you have the opportunity to connect with local advertisers and companies who are looking to fill positions. What we'll also do is give you a little incentive also to kind of get there and win some cash. And this day and age, who can't use some cash? That's for sure.
It's May 23rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Capriotti's Palazzo. It's at 1 Banks Avenue in McAdoo, and it's from 10 to 6. Now, co-sponsored by AutoZone and the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance as co-sponsors. Now, also talk about some of the general areas that the people will be looking for, because you had mentioned about jobs. So let's look at...
Yeah, it's really 50 local companies that
50 of them.
50
Tremendous.
Right now as we speak. Local companies that have jobs available, be it part-time, full-time, seasonal, whatever it is. But we have a number of industries. We have the medical industry, clearly. The Health Alliance is Greater Hazleton Health Alliance is a co-sponsor. We have retail jobs, we have trucking jobs, distribution jobs, manufacturing, financial jobs in the financial sector. Pretty much all areas that touch us here in the Greater Hazleton area. So if you're looking for a job or you feel like you're underemployed, this might be the way to in probably a few hours walking through it, to connect with 50 people who are hiring today as we speak.
The interesting thing about is that there are some people that have experience maybe in retail or distribution or in the medical area. Maybe my suggestion would be, if because we're not just talking minimum wage here. We're talking, it could be substantial amount of I mean, there could be some jobs there that are 15, 20 some dollars an hour. I mean, I'm saying based on who's going to be there.
Right.
But I would certainly bring a resume with me.
Well, I think for sure, 100%, I would bring a number of resumes.
Yeah. I mean,
and be able to hand them out. And then another feature that we're having at the job fair is a resume critique table where someone will look at it and just give their impressions of what you could do a little bit better, how you would catch a hiring manager's attention with a couple tips or critiques of your resume.
It's funny you should say that. Just this morning at my breakfast club meeting with the guys, one of the guys were talking about, he's thinking of putting together a resume, because maybe if he wants to semi-retire,
Right.
and he asked how about going about doing that, okay? Well, we used to do video resumes many years ago. We don't do them anymore. But that is an excellent, so if you could go there, they could give you a critique as to what you want to do, and then you have an opportunity of instead of running all over town going, but most importantly, how many times you want to go for a job? What's the most important thing you got to do? Call standard speaker, talk to the operations manager. You have to check and see when you're available. Well, I could see you in 2 weeks because you have meetings or whatever. Paul, I'm looking to be I want to sell advertising. Here, they're all there.
Yeah, probably mostly hiring managers and their
decision
assistants
makers
will
are
all
there.
be right there. Yeah.
The decision makers are right there.
And the good thing about it is we'll have some ads in the paper, so it'll list the vendors that'll be there. So if you're looking in a specific field, you'll be able to see who's going to be there. But our suggestion is to come out anyway, because a lot of times what happens is people end up with jobs that maybe they weren't looking for. And I think that's critical here, that you get a chance to talk to somebody that maybe it's an industry that you weren't really considering. But after talking to the hiring manager, it's one that you become interested in, and maybe one that you find a job in. I
think this is fantastic. You know why? If it's an opportunity to network. Number one, great opportunity to network, meet people you never met before. All these people are there. You have a person who could help me with my resume, and even if I'm looking the job, I may go there to see if I could hire anybody myself. Okay, in networking, so it's a great opportunity for someone to do that. It's available to you folks. It's the Great Northeast Job Fair. Standard Speaker and Republican Herald are putting it together, co-sponsored by AutoZone and the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance. In specifics, when you're looking at we talked about medical, we talked about retail, trucking, and distribution. But when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the extensive things and what you could do to make it better, make it worth your while, particularly if you're going to spend some time there. But every hour, you get a chance to take a picture with me, which is worth more than $100. No, I'm only kidding. $100 every hour on the hour. All you have to do is free admission, register. It's a fun day. We'll be right back after this. Thanks for staying with us, folks. I'm Sam Lesante, and thank you for making our local news, the #1 local television news in this area. We appreciate it very much. SSPTV.com 24/7, or if you want to go to standardspeaker.com for the latest information, breaking news. We work together. My guest today, members of our media partnership from the Standard Speaker and Citizens Voice. We have John Patton, who is the operation manager, and Paul Ross, who's the advertising director. Paul, we're talking about different resumes, okay, and where you sit as an advertising director. just to help people out when they're going to look for a job. Certainly, if I want a job selling either television advertising or advertising, I'm not going to tell Sam Lesante or Paul Raw I want to be a nuclear engineer.
Right. I mean, I think in today's day and age, it's almost overlooked, but it's very easy to personalize all your correspondence and specifically your resume for the job you're looking for. I mean, it's a little bit difficult at a job fair, but as long as you're amenable to different types of positions and will network and talk to the people there, I'd say once you get through it, have a standard kind of go-to resume, and then with each job, just tailor it to the job you're looking for. If it's a sales job, your goal is to become a salesperson, not a nuclear physicist, like you said. And if you are looking to become a nuclear physicist, don't say your dream has been to be on TV forever and ever and ever. So it's just simple tips, but you see all things like that when you're in the hiring market.
Folks, we're talking about the Great Northeast Job Fair. It's going to be Wednesday, May the 23rd at Capriotti's Palazzo, 1 Banks Avenue, McAdoo. It starts at 10 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. Every hour on the hour, they're giving $100 away, and there's a lot of opportunities here. This is a great opportunity for you to go and see what's available, bring resumes. There's going to be a resume review booth there who could just review some of your resumes. But you're looking for work, the work is out there, all right? We've talked about this election night. There's a lot of jobs available. You just have to go out and get them, okay? John, running a newspaper, running a TV station, a local television, how many times people will come up to you and say, John, why did the paper do this? And why did your news have, why don't you do this, okay? And sometimes I wonder if, because I could look at an article or see something and make a determination as to you're an idiot, okay? Until I talk to John Patton, he says, Sam, let me explain, or Joe, let me explain what happened there, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when so common questions about running a newspaper, running a local television station, we're there to serve, but sometimes it's good to just maybe some common questions about running a newspaper.
Yeah, I think what happens is in a lot of areas is you get questioned about why you covered a specific event, or why you didn't cover a specific event, and or why you covered it with, again, we don't make the news, we report it. I think that's one of the things that I like to get out, is, our job is to report the news. Sometimes it's good news, sometimes it's bad news, but it's news. And so I think from the standpoint of we try to give a fair and accurate account of everything that happens. And again, space considerations, sometimes it's a problem about getting some things in the paper, sometimes they don't get in timely, but for the most part we do a good job of getting everything that's timely in, and and what we consider to be fair and unbiased.
Being local, the worst thing that we like to see, because we're all local and everybody knows a lot of people, okay, is when you have to do a report on either someone a friend or a family or somebody, okay, that's the worst thing that breaks my heart, at least, because you even hate to do that, but you said something is you have to report the news. We don't make the news, okay? It doesn't give us any great pleasure to say that John Patton shot somebody in the head, okay? Right. But these are the kind of things, that just break your heart, at least mine. Particularly you, John, and you be almost like a native. It's not. We have to report the news, and we hope to do it the best way. Anyway, John and Paul, it's always nice to have you on the show.
Thanks.
Okay?
It's great to be here.
And it's tell the Lynette and Haggerty family we really enjoy our media partnership, folks. Wednesday, May 23rd, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You got to go there. You're looking, even if you want to go there to have fun and try to get $100 out of these guys every hour on the hour. I'll take pictures for nothing, no charge for me. You have to pay for Paul Ross, though. You have to want your picture taken with him. All kidding aside, it's a great opportunity, co-sponsored by AutoZone and the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance, brought to you by the Standard Speaker and Republican Herald. Make it your duty, put it on your calendar, May 23rd, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's the Great Northeast 2012 Job Fair right here at Capriotti's. We'll see you there.